Hello, ladies. Welcome to A Woman's Heart, where we uplift, motivate, encourage, and empower women. We are glad that you are joining us on tonight. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media outlets. That is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, ladies, make sure you ask your questions and leave some comments. Join in on the conversation. You are here to be a part of this sisterhood. All right, we'll be on shortly. Check out the website toawomansheart.com. Stay tuned. We're coming up next. Well, hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of To a Woman's Heart, where we uplift, motivate, encourage, and empower. Well, we're back for part 5. We did part 4 last week. Uh, Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on all our social media outlets. That is Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, and please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right. So we said last week we welcome my sister back. She's feeling better this week. You see Denise is in the house today, and then we still have Tammy on the other end. Hey, Tammy girl.
Hey girl.
All right. So last week we had a very interesting conversation about, women having things hidden in a chest, locked away that they suppress down, they don't want to address. But this week, everybody, we're talking about mothers who make their sons their husbands.
Ooh, child. Is it so?
It is so.
It is so. It happens. It happens.
Well, let's talk about it, yeah.
Let's talk about
It is so. And I have a question. Why do you all think that a mother would want to make her son or push her son to take the place of being a son and move him to the level of being a husband?
I think sometimes they do it unconsciously.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how old that son is, maybe he's maybe unbeknownst to the son, kind of taking on the roles of some of the things what a husband would do. Maybe far as maybe even taking care of bills and, different things like that. And so the mother just, kind of places the son in that role, and I don't think sometimes women, they just don't realize where they've placed their son at, and like I said, that's I don't think sometimes some women don't realize it. Some of them probably do, and they don't care. But I think for the most part, I think some of them just don't realize.
But what if the son is not of age? Say he's not in his 20s and he's a kid, and you still put him in a position of being the boyfriend or the husband and not the child.
That's a good question. I don't know.
I definitely don't think it's intentional. I think it's not a conscious effort. Let me prune my son into being my man. I don't think it's conscious, but I do think that it's a twofold situation. Either they've had some pretty no good men, in their lives before in the past, and now they are shaping or molding their son to be what they need in a man, and kind of forgetting or not, I don't know, slightly walking that boundary of mother, son, man, woman, right? Obviously not physically, but mentally. You're confiding in your son, you're having about certain things that maybe kids shouldn't be privy to. You're beholding them to certain responsibilities that a man of the house should take care of, and in a way where it's not just a child's chore, you're kind of holding them to it. The other side of it is, I think that unconsciously some women could also think that maybe they're pruning their son to be the perfect man for someone else. But then you kind of get too attached to that role, and now your expectations of your son is that of what you would have of a man, a grown man. But you're conscious that it's your kid, but those expectations that you put on him and those, what you hold him accountable to, I think sometimes crosses the line.
Yeah, and then also, as you said earlier, it's filling a void.
Yeah.
When some women have a bad breakup and they don't, I guess they're not ready to enter into another relationship or whatever it may be, they take the child and move the child from the child position to the boyfriend or the husband position.
Yeah.
And again, subconsciously, it may be something that they're unaware of, but when you find out that you're doing that to your son, what do you do?
But I don't.
hopefully,
What if you don't find out?
Right.
yeah, I think most don't find out, but hopefully, if you do find out, hopefully you correct, which means you'd have to not only correct yourself, but I think you'd have to have a conversation with the son. You know, because that to me it can have far-reaching effects. Because then it kind of sometimes kind of turns the son kind of like a mama boy.
Mhm.
You know, and who wants a mama's boy?
Right.
You know, and you just really, you're not preparing your son for, leaving home, leaving the nest, having another woman outside of his mother. If that woman man relationship will always be a problem for him, because mamas then kind of set him up, unfortunately, in a bad way. So um hopefully, like I said, that she would have a conversation, and then she would have to change how she's dealing with the son, take him out of that role. But now, will she or won't she? And that's going to be the hard part.
So, what do you think will happen if the son became of age and he realized, by him talking with his friends or talking with other individuals or, hanging out with other family, they're like, okay, and you just making mention of the things that you do, for your mother. And somebody comes up to you and say, well, man, that sounds like, instead of you being a son, you're your mother's boyfriend or your husband. And then they start to contemplate on what's being said from outside voices, and they go back to the mom and say, this is what I'm feeling. How do you think she would react, or how do you think that would play out, or do you think she'll be able to receive what he's saying, or do you think she'll be in denial?
She'll probably be in denial, more likely than not, because from her angle, she probably don't see it that way. She probably don't see that I'm treating him like my husband, like my boyfriend or whatever, or the man of the house. So, and then she'll probably try to, tell him like, well, your friends don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
They're not knowledgeable to, what it is to be a parent. And you may have those parents who go all off into, I'm the person who take care of you. That could go like in a totally different, right? Because it's almost like it's deflecting, right? It's not like I'm not the issue. It's really your friends that's the issue. And she don't want to realize that, because involuntarily in her head, she's already said that this is the role that he's playing in my life because he's the only important person in my life.
Or involuntarily, she's like, there's nothing wrong with our relationship because this is how I want you to be. I'm getting what I need from you. Where that void, you're filling that void. So of course, I don't think that either party would see it as dysfunctional, because it's become their way of life.
True. It goes back to last week about the breaking of the cycle. If I don't think there's anything wrong with my cycle, there's nothing for me to break.
Right.
Because my cycle in my head is fine.
Exactly.
Now, what probably pose a problem as when that son gets older is how he's able to function in relationships. And then very well, probably more likely than not, you're going to run up against your match, right? And that woman is going to call you out. And then the mother and the girlfriend are going to always have a problem. You know what I'm saying? And then the mother's going to, talk to the son. Oh, she ain't no good, this, that, and the third. And then the girlfriend or the wife or whoever going to tell you, your mom in our business too much. She think you her husband. And now you done stuck him in the middle. And now he don't know which way to go. He don't know if he should pick his mama or if he should pick his girlfriend, when the mama should really learn how to play her role in the first place, not taking anything away from mothers, because we do extraordinary jobs. There's a lot of single mothers out here who's raising specifically young Black boys on their own. We totally understand that. But there's a time, there's a place, there's a season for that, because at some point they have to grow up, they have to go on and do their own thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They can't forever hold on to you, but a lot of times it's what happened. Then you get a lot, like Mama said, then you get mama's boys, they don't ever move away from home. They always at home talking about they got their own apartment and they in their mama's basement with their own exit.
Yeah, I work with a girl
in the garden. They're in the garden apartment.
Right.
Yeah, Caucasian lady, and she's divorced from her husband now too. And they have 2 adult daughters together, and that was one of the things she said. You know, that he was a mama's boy, and that the mother was in their business too much. You know, instead of him making the decision, she was making the decision for them while they were married. It's like, okay, but why? Right. You know, so it became a bone of contention for them in the marriage. Hence, they're not married anymore. But
yeah, but it just go to show you how it can destroy relationships.
Oh, absolutely.
And it takes it out of the content that God designed it to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When it say you should leave your parents and cleave to your husband or your wife. But if your mother has groomed you to be the husband, then how do you fall in the line where God designed it to be as it relates to a relationship? Because you can't do that. And then it takes me back to one of Tyler Perry's it wasn't Tyler Perry, it was the movie with Paula Patton and
Jumping the Broom.
And he had so many relationships that the mother had ruined for him without her she didn't even give the person a chance, not even knowing their name, not even, and it spoke volume that you have to hide something from your parent so you can have something.
Right.
Yeah. This is true.
Yeah, but hopefully as that male gets older, he has that aha moment, right? You know, we all should have an aha moment at some stage in our lives. So hopefully he has that aha moment where he's like, hey, this is not right. And hopefully specifically, I think it happens like when they specifically find that white one, right?
Yeah.
That one who they like, this is it. This is what it is. And the minute that they decide, oh, they gonna walk away, I ain't about that life. That's not what I'm here for. Mama, you got to take a back seat, because that's what I want right there. But they have to come to that aha moment. So maybe, hopefully they will. But, you know, we as mothers, you can't put your sons in those type of situations and predicaments, because they're not your man. You know, if you heal your heart and then move on, because kids do get grown and they go off and do their own thing, and you should want to do your own thing too. Have your own hobbies and your own likes and dislikes or whatever.
Let them, the way it was designed.
Let them do their own thing, and then, you know, when they go off, you know, and start their own families, and then you incorporate and then you spoil grandkids like grandparents supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know, not saying don't be there for your kids. Yeah, be there for them. I don't care how old. This should always be my mama. I'm 35 years old. She always gonna be my mom at the end of the day. It's just kind of what it is. You don't stop being a parent because your kids
grow up. I mean, I think a lot of people confuse parenthood or the purpose of parenthood. The purpose of parenthood, from my perspective, is to prune your kids and teach your kids and grow your kids up and teach them things so that they are ready to go out into the world and be productive, respectful, God-fearing, you know, hardworking people, right? I'm not growing you up and pruning you to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm growing you up and helping you and giving you, you know, I'm giving you things that you would need to help make you productive in the world.
Right.
But I think but I'm definitely a smother mother. I will admit to that, right? I am a smother mother, but I smother them just enough to, you know what I mean, keep them safe. When it's time for them to grow up and go on out into this mean old cold world and do their own things, they're going to be prepared because I've given them the tools to be able to be successful.
And that's
So
what we should.
I think it's a difference, right? We want our kids to, we're teaching our kids and we're raising our kids to grow up and grow out to be productive, not grow up and stay with me.
Right.
Exactly.
But I think it's a deeper thing. I think when some women change the roles of their son, it's some insecurities that's going on with themselves, or it comes to a point where in a relationship, some man has demeaned her as an individual, and she started to take on everything she was told in that relationship by that man. And then she feels that through her son is the only way she gets genuine love. You follow what I'm saying? So in my mind, if I've been dating a lot, or if I've been married, I've been divorced, and it's a repetitive cycle, and I keep hearing the same things over and over about myself, I'm not that good looking, I'm not, a great person, I'm not a lovable person. And so you start to wear those things. And so you start being insecure about something. And then you take that and you push it on to your child, because your child is going to give you that genuine love, what you're looking for.
Yeah.
True.
That is very true. I think sometimes it happens unconsciously too, like parent against parent. We have a child together, but we're no longer together. But I want you to love me more than I want you to love him. So I'm going to do everything in my power to let you know and try to show you that I'm the better parent, that cuffing you and taking you under my wing, hence making you my man to a certain degree, right? I think it happens that way. I think it happens that way also. But what I don't think people realize is that you're emotionally screwing these kids when you do that. It's not, you're not teaching them how to have productive relationships.
Right.
When they're caught in the middle of stuff like that.
That's true.
And to clarify, it can go both ways. It can be a son or it can be a daughter, because mothers can ruin their daughters by the things that they see. You got a man coming in like a revolving door, and they started thinking that's the way of life. And then we confuse some of these young ladies and thinking that's a love too. And then hence they go looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
Somebody said in the comments she has 4 sons, and all of my sons are not my man. I'm trying to keep them out my business so I can have a man. You right, girl. Keep them out your business so you can get you a boo.
Yes.
But how many, there are some women don't know how to separate. They just don't, and they don't see nothing wrong with it.
Right.
Nothing whatsoever. And some women even will go as far as to try to sabotage a relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
They do that a lot.
Because I think part of it is that the mother is just in denial. She's in denial. Hopefully she has either a family member or a good girlfriend or somebody that can help bring her into the light. But that's only going to go so far as if she want to come into the light. Some of them just don't want to come into the light. Those saying step into the light, Carol Ann. Carol Ann don't want to come to the light. She want to be in the dark. Okay. Okay. She happy where she is. She, because it's just like anything else. If we as women, if you've been hurt enough and this is working for me, this is giving her what she needs during this time period or whatever, what have you. Sometimes women just continue in that vein, but unfortunately, you're doing your son a disservice, though.
Yes.
You're getting something, but you're sabotaging your own flesh and blood.
Yes.
And I don't think sometimes they may understand that.
Because I think they come from a selfish, perspective. Like, this is because you get those ones. This is my son, and I carried him for 9 months, and I took care of him, and it's like that's what mothers do every day. That you don't get no award for being a mom.
Right. Yeah.
There is no plaque for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We understand that you're his mom, but like you said, we're gonna bring you in to grow you up, to push you out there so you could be productive citizens of the world. And it's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, son, or hey, daughter, I don't agree with your decision, or whatever the case may be. Do that, but it's always room for error, always room for them to grow. Allow them to grow and do their own thing. And like I said earlier, and then you go off and do your own thing, and you'll be surprised if you go off and do your own thing. You'll probably find yourself a man.
Well, that's true because you spending so much time investing your time into your child that you're wasting time.
Right, absolutely. Because, like you all pointed out, eventually that child is going to grow up,
Yeah.
and 9 times out of 10 they're going to leave home. Then where are you?
Stuck with a bunch of cats.
Right. You know.
Ew.
And regrets.
Right.
And regrets. And then and this is how some women become so angry and bitter.
True.
Mhm.
Because it won't catch up to them till later on down the line
Mhm.
that the revelation will kick in, that aha moment. Now you didn't wasted 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of your life that you will never get back.
Yeah, because you can't get it back. Trust me. You
And
can't
your
get
adult
it back.
child now probably wants to have nothing to do with you because they've gotten a taste of their own love and
Yeah.
you know
Right.
you want to be. So you're jeopardizing that relationship
Right.
with your child
Yeah.
down the line.
Yeah, hence why some of them move out of state and all that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part. That's the sad part when you are not realizing the effect you have on your child. That they have to go as far as to move to another state
Right.
so they can have to make sure that you stay out of their business.
Yeah.
Well, you could just tell them, "Hey, mama." I mean, I think it also comes down to a conversation too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a respectful conversation, but it's a conversation that has to be had.
Yeah.
Because you can get to the point to where, you know what I'm saying, you keep pushing, then you're gonna blow up, and now people saying things that they really shouldn't say, and they probably don't really mean 100%,
Mm-hmm.
and then that could go left, and then some things you could just say that you really can't take back, you know. So you got to have those conversations and those sit down conversations. Be like, look, I'll always be your son. No, nothing and nobody's gonna change that. If you call me and say, "Hey, son, daughter, I need to run to the grocery store,"
Right.
I'm sure your child is not gonna be like, "Well, mom, I ain't taking you to the grocery store." You know what I'm saying? Maybe they got to move some things around, but allow them to be their own individual people and don't fully consume yourself.
Mhm.
Because, like, even for me, I don't have a son, I have a daughter, but I'm not fully. Me and Brian has made a conscious effort. We're not gonna fully engage our lives into who Zaria is.
Right.
Zaria is gonna get grown. She's gonna get gone, and she barely want to be bothered with me now.
Right.
So,
and you need to be able to sustain your relationship with your husband beyond the child because
right.
like she's going to grow up, she's going to leave, and then if you guys have just been consumed with her the entire time, you really don't have any connection.
Right. I don't want to be looking at you when we didn't drop her off at college looking at each other like, who are you? I don't want to do that.
And what we gonna do now?
Right. What we
Right.
finna do?
Because
you know?
like Renee said earlier, you know, the woman gets hurt however many times, or maybe it's for some women it's just one time because that was just the man that she just loved or whatever she thought was gonna work out and it didn't. So she wraps her whole life around this son of hers. And you know, she makes it bad for a woman when she do come along because she does everything for the son. The son don't have to do nothing. He don't even take out the garbage. The mama doing it all. She cooking, she cleaning, she washing his clothes. He 25.
Right.
The devil is a lie.
He can't cook or nothing. You know why? Because mama, don't worry about baby. I got it. No. You got to teach your son how to do some stuff too.
You do.
Because mama may not live forever.
Right.
And that's that. Now you said a word right there. What do you do? I'm just thinking, what would a son do if he had a mother who done everything for him and all of a sudden she wasn't there anymore? I don't think he would be able to function in life because he would start looking for that same quality in every woman that he talked to. And then he would be angry because that woman won't cater to him like
your mother did.
Your mother did, but she's going to tell you, I'm not your mother. And he's going to be mad.
He going to run across a woman like me who ain't finna be folding your socks and ironing your drawers. Ain't going to happen.
Right, period.
And he's gonna have a hard. He's gonna have a hard
time.
Yeah, he'll have a very, very hard time. And
there are some women that'll do it. That will do it, thinking in her mind that I can reprogram him
Mm-hmm.
to be what I want him to be when
No.
it's been ingrained in him
Him,
so long. And
right.
what we as women need to understand, you can't reprogram anybody.
No.
They have to want to change for themselves. You can't make nobody change.
Right.
Right.
Well, you know how that goes. You know, the woman think her cookie better than the next sister cookie. So,
Well, no, let's go
you
back.
know.
Because in some instances, a man is reprogrammable. Like it's
Not to that degree, though.
no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was going to say. Not to that now, not to that degree.
Yeah.
But there's some things you could, you can kind of move those puzzle pieces around. But to his mama, yeah, no. But
yeah, but like she said, I call it the spirit of the want to. The man would have to want to.
I like that, the spirit of the
Want to.
Want the spirit of the want to. He got to want to change. It's like anybody else. If I've been doing whatever it is I've been doing, it's just like if I was a smoker. I'm not. Tried it. Never could do it. That's a whole nother story. But if I was a smoker, and I wanted to quit, I gotta want to quit. If Renee, my sister, but if she can want it for me all day long because
Right.
she knows smoking is bad for me.
Right.
But it won't help me if I don't want to quit. I have to want to quit.
Right.
Her wanting me to quit only gonna go so far.
Right.
Right.
So like I said, the man would have to want to change. But like Renee said, it'll be tough because it's been ingrained for him, however, all those years where the mother has trained him basically, this is how a woman do, this is what a woman do. Who got time to wait on a man 24/7? This ain't Burger King, have it your way.
Hello?
If she got a job and different stuff, I can't wait on you 24/7.
if I didn't have a job, I'm not waiting.
Well, that's true too. I'm just saying, we don't have butlers and maids around here.
It would be
That's just not realistic. Not in today's time. It's not realistic.
So moral of the story is women need to be more conscious of the relationships that they have with their child.
Or have with their son.
Because again, I don't think that anybody would do it intentionally. I'm sure that
I agree.
out there doing it, but I think it's just over time,
Mm-hmm.
you start putting these expectations on your male child, and you start, having inappropriate conversations to the point where maybe you're speaking to them about your business like they're an adult, like they're a friend.
Right.
Just those little things will add up.
Mm-hmm.
You dropping those little nuggets in your child's head, and it's growing.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sprouting into something different, and then before you know it, y'all have this inseparable bond as mother and son. Which again, it's nothing wrong with having a great relationship with your child, especially your son, because you have to protect them from the world. But
Right.
I'm a strong believer that a woman cannot teach a boy how to be a man.
True.
That is true.
With separation to some degree. You are their mother, emotional support, financial support, whatever that looks like. But teaching them how to be a man, you will never be able to do.
I agree wholeheartedly.
But there are some women would beg to differ and say they can. But
you can't.
Here's another flip side to it. So say he runs across this woman and she really, really likes him a lot, right? And so she started taking on the things that he says. She tries to meet that need. And as soon as she missed something, he'll say to her, well, if you don't wash my drawers no more, then we ain't going to have this relationship. If you don't do this, then we're not going to get married. There are some women
Mm-hmm.
who will go to the extent to try to cater to everything he say, not realizing she's sacrificing herself in the
Right.
process.
True.
True.
That's very true. Mm-hmm.
But that comes down to like, I'll do anything for my man, almost like, you know what I'm saying? That's something totally different. Now we didn't cross over into something totally different, because at that point, now it's no longer about him. It's about it's about you at this point. And you've put all what you want, your morals, values, whatever it looks like to you, on the back burner, because all you see is him. Now it's no longer about what I want, it's about what he want. He want chicken, you want Chinese. Because he want chicken, you're gonna get chicken instead of the Chinese that you want. Now you didn't cross over that's something totally different. Because now at that point you've been lost yourself.
Right.
Who you are as a woman, not just as a woman, but as a human being.
Yeah, but you got some women that also speaks to some women who, I'm so desperate for this man, and because he says he's going to marry me, or whatever, I'm willing to do whatever
Right.
just so I can say that I'm married. That speaks to a whole nother issue,
Right.
you know.
But I mean, how long does that last? Because those are the couples and the relationships that you see in divorce court or going through a horrible separation. Because at some point, that woman is going to realize, I'm really, truly not happy. Like, this is not me. I don't really know who I am. Or maybe I lost myself. Or I just don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, I agree. Eventually it'll come down.
It
that,
comes
but
to back to what I said earlier. It's that aha moment. We all have them.
we do.
My mama calling you got to have your own come to Jesus meeting, right? When you have that come to Jesus meeting and you get, well, going to say, when you get tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, you got to get to that point.
Yeah.
So when you like, okay, now wait a minute, it's either gonna be you or it's gonna be me. And I'm gonna put my money on me 365, 7 days a week, 366 on the leap.
Yeah.
Okay. So that just kind of what that comes down to. But she has to get to that point. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And it's kind of funny. It was a strawberry letter. I don't know, maybe last year sometime. And the lady, I don't remember how old she was, but she had wrote in and she was having pretty much some of the same issue, kind of like, and she was engaged to this man. And basically he wanted her to dress like the mother, wear her hair like
that.
Right, wear her hair like the and she's like, something's wrong. He wanted her to cook like the mama cook. And she was like, hold up. First of all, I don't even like how your mama wear her hair. That don't even look good on me.
And was she
right? So it was a whole thing, and she wanted a little advice because she was about to go in on this guy. But it just goes to show you got some guys that are out there, little, little touch.
I mean, it doesn't take anything away from, because they always say like girls marry guys, who are like their fathers, and I think men essentially marry women like who have some similarities to their mother, because at the end of the day, the mother is their first love. She's their first emotional support. She mimics what love looks like. So I get that. Just don't get all lost in the sauce and all of that, because it's just not. It's not healthy.
I mean, because your mama wearing a fondue hairstyle,
right?
I don't wear fondue.
And don't put me in the same box as your mama, because you want smashing your mama.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Like, it's okay for me to have similarities as your mom. Maybe I cook well. Maybe I keep a clean house.
Right.
You want me to look like your mom?
Right. Now that's different.
That's just a little weird.
Like we intimate. We get down, and you thinking about your mama, that's a problem.
That's
what don't think about your mama while we in here taking care of business.
Well, I would agree, because that's just
right. That's nasty.
That's really creepy.
That's taking it
way too far. Way too far.
And I'm not wearing nobody's mother wig, hairstyle, clothes, shoes. And for the record, you would never cook like the other individual. Everybody cook differently.
They do.
So you look like you're going to be by yourself till Jesus come. If you wait for me to adapt to what you want me to be, because now you take away my individuality.
Yes, exactly.
I no longer am who I am as a person. I'm becoming who you want me to be.
I'm a mini mama.
Exactly.
Right.
Mini ma.
Now I got to raise you as a kid, and I got to raise the kid.
Right.
That's too much extra work.
It is.
Extra
work. Wrong with that picture.
A whole lot wrong with that picture.
But it's a real thing. It's really a real thing, and it's more real than we are aware of. And it's sad to say that there are women out here that has groomed their sons to take the place of that mate.
Yeah.
And then they don't leave no room where nobody else can come in,
right,
for themselves. And then they miss their time because they invested all their time
in that person and their kids.
Yeah.
I think some of them do actually have a mate. They have a mate at home.
Yeah.
But their son is always going to be held to a higher regard, not because it's their son, but because he feels the void that the mate does not. Right. Or you okay with your mate slacking because your son is picking up the slack because you've groomed him to do so. So it is a horrible cycle, and I think it has a lot of different levels to it.
Yeah.
But I think definitely it's unconscious. We've been able to establish that. I don't think it's intentional that it happens, but it definitely does happen.
But when you realize that you're grooming your son to be your mate, or changing the position and putting your son in the position of a husband or boyfriend, there are some things you need to change. And then even if the mother has the son and she's groomed him to be the husband or the boyfriend, and she gets somebody in her life, now the mate becomes the secondary and the son becomes the primary. But the mate start complaining about becoming the secondary and making the son the primary, and she be like, no, he's not. And so that causes a problem. Now your relationship ends up separated.
Yeah.
That goes back to that. They have this thing on Facebook. I know you're ready to wrap up. They had this thing on Facebook. Dang, how'd it go? Like, who gets their plate first, right? Like say it's a family, right? You got a husband, a wife, whatever. Have your dynamic kids, and you have the kids, right? Who gets their plate first? Do you fix the spouse's plate first, or do you fix the kids' plate first?
Right.
And you'll be surprised. A lot of the people in the comments were saying, "Oh, I fixed my kids' plate first because they'll never switch up on me." That spouse, he grown or she grown, they can fix their own plate. I promise you. So it goes to show that a lot of times that a lot of people put their children ahead of their spouse, when that's really not how it's supposed to go. It really supposed to be the spouse then the kids, because then we'll come together. Because we're now one. If we're husband and wife, we'll come together, and then the kids are one to us, but we're first to each other. So it goes, like I said, it goes back to speak how people, they have the dynamic.
That's it.
Like it's I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's food, y'all. It's not, it's food. Everybody's gonna get the opportunity to eat. It doesn't really matter if I fix your plate first and he get his plate second. Especially with boys, they gonna swallow it anyway. They don't even chew for real in real life.
But it's a good analogy. And if they have that concept with food, they have that concept in the relationship.
I agree.
So usually people do what they do in other areas, what they do in their relationship, and that's their thought process.
Because they was going back, specifically a lot of women were in the comments and they were saying, those my kids, and my kids always gonna come first. And if he can't understand that, then that's his business. He should understand that, my kids always come first, because what if he leaves? You going all off into something.
That is way
you weigh all the way left.
Like you said, it's food though.
Right. You over food. You didn't automatically said that he gonna leave me for Sarah or wherever he's gonna go, because you simply said that you're gonna feature your children first. Why does it matter who gets fed first? If you have old enough kids, they can go in there and fix their own plate in reality. You know what I'm saying? Because we do need to teach them that form of independence, right? The note that people not going to always wait on you hand and foot, because you don't have a maid. So I thought it was crazy, because a lot of women were really, I'm talking about heated, mad, like, and I'm just like, sis, it's food. It's food at the end of the day. If you cook the food, or if your husband or whoever else cook the food and prepare food for the family, I put in the comments, if you feel that bad about it, my grandma on Saturday morning, she used to put out bowls and stuff. We used to have family style. Put the bowls on the plate, everybody pass the bowl around. It's not that deep, but like I said, it goes back to show how the dynamic is so much more different, to where people are overly mad about the fact that the husband gets fed first versus the kids.
And see, that's something I never would have thought of when I was married, when I would fix my husband.
I don't think of that.
At the time, I don't know. It just came natural to me. I mean, I used to always see my mother would fix my daddy a plate, so I just kind of followed suit. I never thought much about it.
I
But
think
that
it
don't make you
goes back to like what we talked about a couple of weeks ago too, like being conscious of everything that you do because the kids are
Right.
watching. And like you said, Renee, these things are being these things that we're doing or these habits that we have are resounding in these kids' minds to be something totally different. So I think we just need to do a better job of being conscious of everything that we do because
Right.
we never know how it looks in their eyes. I agree with you, Nettie. Like in my mind, I feel like the man is the head of the household. I'm gonna
Exactly.
fix his plate first.
Right.
But I mean, there are times where I don't fix his plate first. If he's upstairs and the kids are downstairs, I'm not gonna wait for him to come. I'm fixing the kids' plate. And when he come down, I'll fix his plate. Or it'll be times where I cook and then I go sit down and he will fix my plate because they need to see him serving me also. It's
Right.
not the one way. It's I'm
I
serving you, you're serving me, we're serving the kids together. We got so many kids, sometimes we do an assembly line. Baby,
That's
you do
right.
I got the sides.
Right.
I mean, it's a joint and a group effort. It's not about like my
Who
kids
first,
gonna
who
always
first.
be here, so I'm always gonna
Right.
put first because them kids gonna be the ones that leave you oftentimes before that man would. Then what you gonna do?
Right, sitting there
Mhm.
looking crazy. Because
Yeah.
I tell you, I don't do that either. Like if Brian not downstairs, okay, well, when you come down, then I'll fix you something to eat.
Exactly.
But if you ain't down here and if you don't never come down here, I'm not gonna break my neck, be like, sorry, you can't eat because your daddy not down here. No, we both finna sit right here and eat. And when he get ready to come down here,
Right.
he'll come down here. And a lot of times, most times he'll be like, you sit down, I got it.
Right.
He'll be like, you cook, I can fix my own plate. I don't understand why. It's crazy.
Yeah.
People blow stuff
Big
way
deal.
out of proportion. It's not even that deep.
But I think even blowing out of proportion, I think when somebody just blow off like that, it's more than food. When I hear somebody making that, it's more than food, and we just have to face up to it. There are some things that we just need to address as women because we take what we're feeling, what we've been through, our hurt and our angers and our frustration, and we place it in something else, and we cause more problems than it needs to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Bottom line, because when we was coming up, we had dinner time. Mama fed daddy. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like we weren't gonna eat. It was
Right.
enough food for everybody.
That's what I'm
True.
saying. Everybody don't eat.
Mhm.
Cause you got your rice before I got my rice. Oh, you ate 2 more rices than me. Like
I like that. 2 more rices.
right. It doesn't make sense. Like we all finna sit down, we all finna eat, we all everybody gonna eat, and let's just all go to bed.
Yeah, I just think that we just need to look at some things when we act to things a certain way because again, what we are mad about on surface is usually something that's beneath that. It's not actually the food, it's something else that's going on.
Right.
And if, like you said, Tammy, if you're going to show your kids and Denise showing her and Brian showing how to serve each other, and you do what you need to do because that's the only way children are going to understand the structure of a relationship, how it should go. But if you stand up here talking about I'm not feeding you first, and you going all off level to the left side, it's not that serious.
No.
It's not. And so with
Let
that,
that hurt go, sis. Let that hurt go.
Right.
Right.
Hashtag let that hurt go.
Right. Hashtag let that hurt go.
yeah, it's time. Just open up that chest like we talked about last week and clean out what you've been suppressing and heal yourself from it. Because most of that is some things that we're just spilling out. We haven't healed from it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And you get in relationships, and all relationships are not going to work. And you have to know that nobody is perfect. Ain't nobody perfect but Jesus Christ himself.
True.
And everybody makes mistakes. And no parent comes with instructions. And if you make a mistake, you make a mistake. Learn from it and move on. Don't wear the guilt bag all your life.
Right.
Let it go and free yourself.
Mhm.
That's all I'm saying. So I just hope these conversations has been very helpful and it's been insightful. And let me say, these conversations are not to attack anybody or make any mother or woman feel less than, but these conversations are to open your eyes to some things because we can be better. in a lot of things. We can let some things go and we can grow from some things. And again, we've all made mistakes. We've all did things that we wish we hadn't, but that's in the past. That's in the past. So we have to learn from those mistakes and move forward.
Yeah.
Bottom line. And that's it and that's all. So I hope everybody enjoyed. And next week will be our final part 6.
The
Yes.
conclusion.
Maybe we're gonna dig down way up under the cemetery where the all up under the dirt.
We'll do a synopsis of everything we've learned.
Yeah. And I want you ladies to chime in and ask some questions. What is it that you would like to know? Ask the question. There is somebody out there that's been listening, and there's something that you want to ask. So ask that question and let's see what we come up with. All right. So we thank you for tuning in to part 5 of the expectations of a woman. And don't forget to follow us on all our social media outlet. That is Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, and do subscribe to the YouTube channel. And make sure you check out the website. All right. See you all next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
Goodbye. Well, that concludes another episode of To a Woman's Heart, where we uplift, motivate, encourage, and empower women. We do thank you for joining. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media outlets. That is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm asking that every woman would invite a woman. Wednesdays, we will be back at 7:30 having conversations. On Tuesday at 7:30, we are highlighting women in business. And please do check out the website, toawomensheart.com. Let us spread love. We're walking in greatness this year, building, bonding, and believing in sisterhood, working on becoming our better, best selves. Until we talk again.